scores as well as save shots on goal for some of these goalies. Give me both teams to score in the first period. That's coming in at plus 185 compared to the over 1.5 that is at minus 120. Okay, you guys ready? Let's make some freaking money. It's time for Bucket with Jo.
Happy Tuesday, everyone. Jo here at SportsGrid. It's time for Bucket with Jo over here on SportsGrid TV. If you guys haven't downloaded the SportsGrid app, make sure you go over and check it out today. Available everywhere you get those apps. Now, you guys, we need to bounce back today. Yesterday's day on the ice went totally the exact way opposite to what I was thinking. We saw games that I was looking for unders go overs go under, and it was just a hard day overall. On the ice, we get some of those player props, but not enough to break even. So let's have a big bounce back. We got a loaded slate today. All of these games kicking off at 7 o'clock Eastern. I just want to thank everyone for being here on this beautiful Tuesday. Hopefully you guys had a great weekend, a great Monday, enjoyed Monday Night Football, and cashed on some of those props. But it's time to talk some hockey. Let's jump straight into it. The Vegas Golden Knights are taking on the Washington Capitals. Now, all odds provided are from FanDuel. So we're looking right now at the Vegas Golden Knights hitting the road for the first time this season as the favorite on the road. They're coming in at minus 134. And we know this team has had a hot start offensively. Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, this team has been clicking. They've been finding the back of the goal. So I understand why they're the favorite here on the road. The Washington Capitals at home are plus 112 if you're willing to take a chance on the home dog. We got a total 5.5 minus 130 to the over. You're getting plus money to the under at plus 106. The biggest thing in this matchup is the goaltending. Adin Hill expected here for the Vegas Golden Knights. Okay, we can trust in Adin Hill. Logan Thompson versus his former team will be making his debut here for the Washington Capitals, and I think this is an excellent spot to back him in this matchup. Goalies facing their former teams can go one of two ways. Yes, the goaltender does know the offense of the other team. He knows what these guys' tendencies are, but also it can be a weakness for that goaltender. That goaltender is known by the offense of the other team. I do think here I'm going to give the advantage to Logan Thompson. Now, we are not seeing props out yet for Logan Thompson, but I expect him to go over the save number they post. I just want to double check to make sure nothing's come out in the last 5 minutes for him, and we still don't have it. This will be one that we check before the show is over here because I really want to see what number they're coming out with Logan Thompson. I do think he can have that big game in this one. When we look here at the Washington Capitals, I do think they have the ability with Ovi to get on the board. Ovechkin coming in here with an anytime goal at plus 150. And the Caps on the money line. I'm going to go with the home dog in this one. When we look at Ovi, he usually plays left wing. He has been moved to right wing. The last time when he's in the right wing position, even though the majority of his career in the NHL is left wing, when he gets moved to that right wing position, we've actually had him have success. He was able to win the Hart Trophy. And you guys, it was like over a decade ago that he won that Hart Trophy playing in the right wing position, and he was able to go on to get 51 goals in the right wing position. We know he's chasing Wayne Gretzky's goal prop, so I do think this move to right wing will shake things up a little bit and will be a good move for Ovechkin. So in the first night, playing that right wing position tonight, I will take him for the anytime goal at plus 150. Now, I'm also looking at a couple of things. You're going to see that movement to right wing from Portis here. And then Dylan Strome will still be centering both Ovechkin and Portis. So I'm looking for Dylan Strome props as well. He's already got a goal and an assist on 4 shots on net. And I do think in this one, you can look at him for the point. We know Ovechkin is yet to hit the goal mark. He's only been able to get 1 assist. And John Carlson, 1 goal, 1 assist, 4 shots on goal. So I think the Caps at home in this one have the ability to come out nice and strong. I do think goaltending and defense will rule this game First period, under 1.5 goals coming in at -106. And then the under 5.5, again, that under market coming in at +106. There's been no movement as the start of the day. Now, the Vegas Golden Knights have owned this matchup, winning 7 of the last 10. So taking the Caps at home is purely based on Logan Thompson standing on his head in this one. So if you don't want to take the money line, I would look at Logan Thompson once those props come out. Again, we'll check those lines, see if there's anything out before we finish the show. You guys, don't let me forget. Remember Logan Thompson when he was with the Vegas Golden Knights, how strong his record was. He was able to go 25-14-5 with 1 shutout win last season with a 2.70 goals against average and a 908 save percentage. So can he come out here and really stick it to his old team? I absolutely think he could. If this game is to go for the Washington Capitals to get the win, it has to be a low scoring one. They can't get in a matchup here with the Vegas Golden Knights where they're trying to outfire them offensively. That just will not happen. Jack Eichel, Mark Stone, so phenomenally strong. You look at Eichel, 1 goal and 6 assists already on the season. Barshev coming out here, 3 goals, 3 assists, and Mark Stone already 2 goals and 4 assists. So this is a dangerous team to face offensively. This is their first road game though, and they have the Lightning and the Panthers on deck before back home to face the Kings. So I do think this is a nice opportunity here to jump on the home dog in the Washington Capitals. Okay, the next game on the board, we have the Vancouver Canucks. Now, they are coming in at +114 on the road versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning are -137. We saw that beautiful win by them over the Carolina Hurricanes out there on the road. It was a 4-1 win, really stepping up offensively. Now, this total sitting at 6.5 at +100 to the over. And I'm really shocked in this one that we are getting +100 to the over. We look at the Vancouver Canucks. We know they started off that season so hot, able to get those goals right out of the gate on the Calgary Flames, and then they did allow that one to slip away. We're seeing both of these teams being able to score, and I think in this one, I'm going to roll with the over 6.5 at +100. I think this is a 4-3 style win either way. We've got Vasilevsky expected in net tonight for the Tampa Bay Lightning, and Silos coming out here for the Vancouver Canucks. I just can't take this one to the under. I'd look at those first periods to go over as well. But I think, you got Kucherov coming off a hat trick in his last game. You can circle Kucherov again. I don't trust the Vancouver Canucks defensively in front of goaltending unless it's Demko, and we know Demko is still out of this lineup. Vancouver's giving up the goals, and the Tampa Bay Lightning only gave up 1 in that game. But I do think here at home we can see with this high-octane offense of the Vancouver Canucks, them to be able to put the goals in the back of the net too. So when we're looking at a couple of these goal scorers, we're looking here right now on FanDuel, Kucherov coming in at +130 and Braden Point at +110. I think this is a nice opportunity to parlay some of these guys for their point market. And when we look at their point market, you've got to take 2+ points before you're getting any value on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Jake Gunsel, we know, was added to this lineup, and he is so phenomenally strong. So if we're looking at Kucherov, Gunsel, and Braden Point each to get 2+ points in this game, they are not allowing us to parlay that. That is very interesting because the other day, in that opening game, we were able to parlay these guys together. So right now on FanDuel, they're saying, no, thank you. We don't want your money on that. Kucherov for 2+ points separately is -128. Jake Gunsel +180 for 2+ points, and Braden Point at +190. Let's see if we just put Kucherov in for 2+. I don't love that. So the books are trying to hedge their risk in this because they will allow me to parlay Kucherov for 2+ points, and then Braden Point, Quinn Hughes, and Jake Gunsel for 1+ points. If you parlay all 4 of those together, it's coming in at +218. They will not allow me to parlay 2+ points for these players on the Tampa Bay Lightning, which means, in my opinion, they're going to come out and be able to get things done. And I'm going to be kicking myself that I wasn't able to parlay that together. So I would look at the points here coming in for the Tampa Bay Lightning. As for the Vancouver Canucks, let's see the value where we're getting that. for that goal market. JT Miller coming in at plus 175, I do think is a nice play on him. I love Quinn Hughes and what he brings. Offensive defenseman out there on the ice. If Quinn Hughes can break past and get that goal, especially from the blue line, we know how strong he is. He's coming in at plus 450. So I'm going to sprinkle a little bit on Quinn Hughes. You guys know I love those offensive defensemen. And that's where I'd go with this game. But clearly the over is the play for me. Moving on to the next game, we have the Florida Panthers taking on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Now, are we going to get that clear letdown spot for the Florida Panthers? I am nervous about it for anyone backing them. They're coming in at minus 156 on the money line, and we know they're coming off that win yesterday versus Boston Bruins. Yes, this is a 7-10 Eastern matchup. They played a day game yesterday, but we saw them in that home opener get the win versus Boston and then have a couple letdown spots and then come out strong versus Boston again yesterday. I can't believe the lack of defense that the Florida Panthers are playing out there and the Boston Bruins. I expected both of these teams to play a stronger defensive battle out there on the ice yesterday. Now they're facing a Columbus Blue Jackets team that's at home, coming in at plus 130 on the money line. This total 6.5 is juiced to the under. Again, surprising to me with the lack of defense we've seen out of Florida. The under at minus 120, the over at minus 102. I think there's a couple of ways to attack this. Spencer Knight expected here for the Florida Panthers. He let some easy goals in versus the Buffalo Sabres. He allowed 4 goals on 26 shots. So right away, I'm going to look here at Columbus. Can Columbus get the goals against Spencer Knight? I really do think so. We know Florida last season was such a strong team defensively, not allowing those shots to come in and strong on the kill. Neither team has been strong on the kill this season between these two. And I just don't trust the Florida Panthers, what they're doing defensively out there. So I'm going to take the Columbus Blue Jackets team total over 2.5. Now it's juicy at minus 138, but I do think they have the ability to get those goals on the Florida Panthers, especially when you look at the Panthers. They're allowing these goals to come in, and Columbus is averaging 4 goals per game to start the season. Elvis is expected in net for the Columbus Blue Jackets today. He's got a 3.05 goals against average on the season with an 8.85 save percentage. So under 900, which we don't like to see, but I think the goals are coming on both sides. These teams do trend to that over when they play each other, with 5 of the last 6 going over that number. I'll take Columbus here. I'll take their team total over 2.5. I want to sprinkle straight up on the money line on the Columbus Blue Jackets of plus 130. It will only be a quarter unit, you guys, because I do think even though we've seen Florida have those letdown spots, they should be able to come out nice and strong still versus Columbus, because Columbus is allowing those goals to come in. I would look here, though. Matthew Tkachuk and Barkov are still out of this lineup. So if you're looking for playmakers for the Florida Panthers, we know Sam Bennett has been excellent. Sam Reinhart was your top power play goal scorer last season. So Sam Reinhart for the power play point, I would love in this matchup. And Verhaeghe has been strong for the Panthers so far. I'm going to circle because I'm liking the Columbus Blue Jackets Monahan to come out nice and strong. Now, I'm going to take him for big plus money. And you guys are going to learn over the season, I would rather take plus money, big risk for that reward. So when we look at Monahan here, 2+ points for him coming in at plus 440, 3+ points for Monahan at plus 1,500. With Spencer Knight in net here for the Florida Panthers, I expect Columbus to be able to find the back of the net. Monahan is on that top line and on the top power play. I think he's able to get 3 points in this game. So I'll take him for the 2+ at plus 440. I'll take him for the 3+ for a sprinkle at plus 1,500. He got on the board finally in the last game. A slow start for him, driving with his new team here. But in that last game, he was able to, versus Colorado, he got 1 goal and 2 assists. So he was able to get 3 points. I do think we'll see those points coming in this matchup. So Adam Fantilli, also center on the next line down. He was able to get a goal versus the Colorado Avalanche, and I do think you can look at his points tonight as well. But I love Monahan to come out, get that goal, get those assists, and cash his big dime in this matchup. The next game on deck, you guys, the New Jersey Devils taking on the Carolina Hurricanes. The Devils, first time they've been an underdog on the season. They're rolling in to Carolina at plus 130 on the money line. How tempting is that, you guys? The first time this team has been an underdog on the season. Carolina at minus 156, total 6.5. The under 6.5 is coming in at minus 130, the over at plus 106. I can't go over with this game. I do think it's a lower scoring game, even though we have offensive firepower on both sides of the puck. I'm looking at goaltending and I'm looking at the defensive capabilities of both of these teams. Jacob Markstrom will be in net. This is the second night of a back-to-back for the New Jersey Devils. I thought he was going to be in net last night, and he wasn't. We saw Jake Allen start last night versus Utah and be able to get the shutout win. So Markstrom in this one. The kill has been so strong here for the New Jersey Devils. They've only allowed 1 goal in 11 kills. So strong kill out there for them. When we look at the Carolina Hurricanes, at the top, or the second best power play last season, and they had the best kill out there. I'm expecting defense to rule again. Frederik Andersen expected in net tonight for the Carolina Hurricanes. Frederik Andersen absolutely lights out when he's on the ice. He just has to stay healthy. He went 13-2 last season with a 1.84 goals against average, a save percentage of .932. So he is fantastic. Now, some lines are moving out there for the Carolina Hurricanes after that first game. So they lost that one to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Actually, I believe it was a 4-2. It's 4-1 or 4-2 loss there for the Carolina Hurricanes versus Tampa. But we are seeing line movement for this team. You will look for Sebastian Aho on that top line, centering Sheznikov out there and Jarvis. So that top line, this is what we saw last year. I'm not sure why they weren't playing on the top line in game one, but I like Sheznikov, Aho, and Jarvis on that line together. So with Aho centering them, I would look for his points tonight, 2+ points, or just the assist. The assist is coming in at plus 108. I do think he gets it. Sheznikov remains such a focal point for this team offensively. I do think he can get the anytime goal tonight with the assist of Aho. So he's coming in at plus 220, but it's hard to take goal scorers when we're looking at an under. Someone has to score in this one. And especially when I'm looking at the New Jersey Devils and going, okay, you're giving me a team that is an underdog for the first time. Yes, they're playing on the second night of a back-to-back, but I do trust this team offensively, defensively, and in net. And I do think they could have the upper hand in this game. The values coming in on the New Jersey Devils and the under. You look at this team, they were able to put up 33 shots on goal versus Utah. And Utah, they held them to 20 shots only on net. Again, the under 6.5, a sprinkle on the New Jersey Devils, and that's where my best bets will be in this game. But Aho and Sheznikov, I do think, can get on the board for the Carolina Hurricanes in this matchup. But I do think this is going to be, Dougie Hamilton coming out so strong on defense for the Devils, and Jack Hughes stepping up. Timo Meier coming out strong. So be careful with this one. I'm liking props from both sides, but I do think the Devils end up getting the win. Next game on deck, you guys. Happy Tuesday to everyone out there. Let's make some freaking money. We're going to talk about the next game here quick. The Minnesota Wild taking on the St. Louis Blues. One thing, you guys, if St. Louis goes down in this matchup, if you're getting them plus 2.5 on the puck line, because the Wild come out and score 2 goals in the first period, jump on that plus 2.5. Sprinkle on the money line. The St. Louis Blues are a scrappy team that never give up in these games. Their ability to come back when falling from behind, from what I've seen so far on the season, is second to none. This team never says die. It's just like the Chicago Blackhawks and the Montreal Canadiens. These are scrappy teams, eager to get those wins out there. And they're able to come back in these matchups. No, not every matchup they'll be able to come back in, but live betting opportunities on all 3 of these teams to do so. So St. Louis is the home dog at minus 106. You're not getting plus money, but still a home dog with the Minnesota Wild rolling in at minus 113. This total is 5.5 minus 130 to the over and plus 106 to the under. Now, we are seeing the Minnesota Wild rolling in here. Gustafson expected in goal. This team is averaging 3.3 goals per game so far. And the St. Louis Blues, Binghamton expected. This team is rested, and they do have the edge in net with Jordan Binghamton starting here and Gustafson starting for the Wild. I trust Binghamton so much more. They're averaging 29 shots on goal per game, and they're winning the face-off battles in their matchups so far on the season. Now, they are off the loss to the Vegas Golden Knights, but they held the Vegas Golden Knights with that potent offense to 4 goals in that game, and they were able to put up 3 of their own. We're seeing the Wild. They lost their last 2 games in OT. They lost to the Winnipeg Jets 2-1 and the Seattle Kraken. That was a shootout loss that they lost 5-4 after opening the season with that win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. I do think the St. Louis Blues at home are the right side. This is their home opener tonight as well. So you've got to love this team. They've played on the road. They're returning home. All their fans are going to be eager to see them get the win here tonight in their home opener, and so will they. So I'm going to take the Blues at minus 106. This line is bouncing around, you guys. It's gone from a minus 106 to minus 110 on some books and back down to minus 106. We're also seeing the Wild playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. We know this team. They love to get up. They love to get up in that first period and then lock down and play a defensive style of game. If they get up again, I'm going to be coming back on the St. Louis Blues on that money line. If they're just down 1, I'm going to come back on them on the money line at that plus 150, plus 160 mark that we're getting. Robert Thomas is someone we circled preseason to come in and go over his points on the season, which I believe was 81.5. He's already got us 1 goal and 4 assists. So he's working away at that with 4 points. Jordan Kyrou, someone else to circle here for the St. Louis Blues. He's already got 2 goals and 4 assists. And I'm still looking for Holloway to be able to come out and get that goal. He has 1 assist, 0 shots on goal in the game versus Vegas, but he had 3 versus the San Jose Sharks. So I'm looking for him to step up. I'm expecting the Wild with those last 2 overtime games to be tired here, especially with one of them going to the shootout, and for the St. Louis Blues to be able to get the win. Yeah, we have seen strong trends to Minnesota versus St. Louis. So you got to be careful with that when you do see those strong trends, because in hockey, more so than any other sport, those trends, there's really some teams that just always beat other teams. I'm looking at this game. The St. Louis Blues, I think, are a better team than we saw last season. I'm expecting a lot more out of them, so I'm looking for them to buck the trend today. Let's talk about the Seattle Kraken versus the Nashville Predators. Now, current lines on this, the Kraken plus 160. Dogs on the road, and almost a $2 favorite here for the Nashville Predators. They're minus 194 for a team yet to win on the season. This total sitting at 5.5 at minus 128 to the over. The puck line coming in here for the Preds, minus 1.5 at plus 132. Too juicy if you want to grab Seattle plus the 1.5. It's coming in at minus 160. I do think the Predators in 60 minutes is the way I have to take this game. It's coming in at minus 110. I don't want to lay that puck line here because the Seattle Kraken can be scrappy. They're off a loss 2-0 to the Stars on the road. They've got the Flyers back at home on Thursday. And when we look at the Nashville Predators, they lost to the Red Wings. They got shut out as well, 3-0. And in their home opener, they played an actually tight game with the Dallas Stars, losing that one 4-3. I'm looking for a lot out of this team to wake up offensively. Philip Forsberg and Jonathan Marchessault to really step up and be able to get those goals that count in this game to get them the win in 60 minutes. I would also look for them to come out strong out of the gate. I'm taking the Preds in the first period, laying a goal on that puck line at plus 146. This team is due for like a breakout, really light the lamp kind of game. They're averaging 39 shots on goal per game, which is the best overall in the league. They're winning the faceoffs at 60.5% of the time, and they're scoring on that one-man advantage on the power play, 16.7% of the time. So when we're looking here at the Seattle Kraken, they have a weak face-off. They're only winning the face-off 46.8% of the time. So I'm expecting the Preds to win that face-off, put that pressure on Grubauer in goal tonight, and be able to get the win. Now, Saros is in net tonight for the Nashville Predators. He's 0-1-0 on the season with a 2.09 goals against average, a save percentage of 905. He saved 19 to 21 shots on his net in his first start. So he wasn't faced with a lot of shots. And I do think in this one, we could see the Kraken get in once or twice, but I think the Predators win and dominate this game. I just don't want to lay that puck line for the full game in case something wonky happens there at the end, you guys. Let's look at the San Jose Sharks. They're taking on the Dallas Stars. This one kicking off at 8 p.m. Eastern. Now, the San Jose Sharks coming in at plus 270 here. Celebrini is on the IR with a lower body injury, which we hate to see. I wanted to keep cashing on Celebrini props. After that first game, he looked fantastic. Tyler Toffoli out there with him, though, will be our main focus for the San Jose Sharks while Celebrini is out of this lineup. Now, the Dallas Stars coming in at minus 345 on that money line. So you guys know we can't hit on that. The puck line minus 1.5 is minus 134. Total sitting at 5.5. Juice to the over at minus 140. I don't love the juice on that over 5.5. I do think if you're looking for this one to go over that total, it's because the Minnesota Wild are the team that does the majority of the scoring. Could they go over this total themselves? They absolutely could, because you look at Mackenzie Blackwood, expected here for the San Jose Sharks. His last start versus the Stars, he allowed 6 goals, but on 41 shots on goal. He doesn't get that defensive support by the San Jose Sharks. So he needs more support out of the defense here. In his 3 career games versus the Stars, he's yet to record a win, going 0-3 with 4.42 goals against average and an 888 save percentage. So you can look at the Dallas Stars for their team total to the over. I think it's a strong way to go. Instead of taking that full game over, especially when you look at Jake Ottinger, expected here for the Dallas Stars. He's been just on fire to start the season, a 1.51 goals against average and a save percentage of 957. So phenomenally strong out there on the ice. He was able to get a shutout win in that last game versus the New York Islanders, saving 34 of 34 shots on his goal. The last 2 games have been shutout wins here for the Dallas Stars. So this team is playing strong in goal and defensively. So they're able to get a shutout win versus the Kraken and the Islanders. So 3-game winning streak. I'm going to look at some props in this one. I think it's a way to go with the amount of shots the San Jose Sharks allow. There's players I'm circling from the Dallas Stars. I had to find value in this game. I don't want to do that puck line. The Sharks have been a scrappy team in some games on the road. We saw them like last year, roll into Vegas and get a win. They rolled into Tampa and got the win. This is a team that you can never count out of these games either, especially with Tyler Toffoli now on this team. What I'm going to look at here is for player props on both sides. So the Dallas Stars, I've got Jason Robinson circled for 4+ shots on goal. It's coming in at plus 188. Yes, he only had 2 versus Seattle, but he had 5 versus the New York Islanders. And I'm expecting with this defense week here of the Sharks, we will see Jason Robinson get 4 or more shots on goal at plus 188. Now, Wyatt Johnson, also a player you have to circle. His 4+ shots on goals coming in at plus 165. He was able to hit that versus the Predators. And Jamie Benn coming in here, 3+ shots on goal, plus 144. 2 versus the Islanders. Now, I would parlay as well Jamie Benn, Wyatt Johnson, and Jason Robertson for their points tonight. And let's just quickly actually do that here. I want to see if they're allowing us for these points because it wasn't out before. And the player points are not out yet in this game. So we can't parlay it as of yet. But when the books open those point totals, if you take all 3 of them for the point tonight, you're probably going to get plus money. If I was looking for one player for the 2+ points and the other players for the 1+ points, I would look at Jason Robinson for 2+ points. I expect a goal and an assist out of him tonight, and then the other 2 players to get the 1+. So play around with that. On the other side of the puck, Tyler Toffoli, like I said, he's going to be a target here with Celebrini out of the lineup. He will have a lot of offensive production. He'll be getting those shots on goal. I'm looking for him for 4+ shots on goal coming in at plus 215. He had 4 versus the St. Louis Blues, who, in my opinion, have a stronger defense here than the Dallas Stars. And he only had 1 versus the Ducks. He was really slow in that game. The Stars are still allowing those shots to come in as well. They're allowing 31.7 shots on goal per game. So Tyler Toffoli here for those shots on goal, I think is fantastic. And like I said, the Sharks allow so many shots. They're actually the worst team in the league, allowing 35 shots on goal per game. So you want to look at that shot market out there. And I know sometimes it can be frustrating because what's counted as a shot and what isn't, especially when we're watching this, we're like, that went dead on and they don't count it. So be careful with this market, but I do think this is a good game for it with both of these teams allowing them to come in. Yeah, I hear you. The Dallas Stars at minus 340 on the money line look like a parlay killer here. And the Sharks plus 1.5 looks like a pretty solid way to go. Someone said my mic isn't working. Hopefully it's working, you guys. Let me know if you guys are having issues with the mic. The Chicago Blackhawks taking on the Calgary Flames is the next game out here. The Chicago Blackhawks off the win versus the Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers just reeling because then after losing to the Chicago Blackhawks on Saturday, they lost to the Calgary Flames. The Calgary Flames at home in this one. Minus 146 on the money line. We have a total of 6.5. Now that 6.5 is juiced to the under at minus 128 and plus 104 to the over. Calgary's been surprising. Even as a Calgary fan, I can't believe how strong they have started the season, sitting 3-0 right now. Offensively, this team has been fire. When we look at Dustin Wolfie in net tonight, he was absolutely fire in his last start, and I'm expecting a strong performance out of him as well. Peter Mrazek coming into net for the Chicago Blackhawks. This team's allowing an average of 3 goals per game and averaging 2.6 themselves. They're not playing great defensively, and goaltending isn't their strong suit. So I do think Calgary, with their high-octane offense that never gives up in these games, should be able to get the goals on the Chicago Blackhawks. I'm going to take Calgary over 3.5 goals in this one at plus 108. The money line is just too juicy for me at minus 146, but I don't blame you if you hit them on the money line. I can see this being a 4-3, 5-3 style game for these teams tonight. Both of them are finding the back of the net, and because both of them are finding the back of the net at a higher rate, I'm going to take the goal in the first 5 minutes as well. That's coming in at plus 168. And yes, Wolfie had that fantastic game, but still a young goalie out here in goal. He's smaller in stature as well, you guys. So he's not like Jacob Markstrom that Calgary used to have that took up so much of that net. Dustin Wolf, he's going to fill out. He's going to get bigger in that goal, and he's showing that he has the ability, even with his smaller size, to stop those shots. But I think in this one, we're going to get a quick goal out of one of these teams. You got to look at Chicago and the momentum they are rolling with getting the win over Edmonton, and Calgary coming in here just playing phenomenal. It's great to see. So I'm looking for the goal first 5 minutes plus 168. Calgary over 3.5 goals. Now, if you're looking at who is going to get those goals tonight, I do have Blake Coleman circled for the Calgary Flames. I think Coleman's going to come out and just have a game. It's a gut feeling, you guys, is coming in at plus 250 for the anytime goal. You could look at Kadri as well. He's plus 185, and Kuzmenko coming in at plus 220. I like Kuzmenko for his points and his assists as well. Unfortunately, that line isn't out, so I can't give you what the money is on that, what your return is, but I do like the goal plus 220. When we're looking at the other side of the puck for Chicago, you know Connor Bedard is the difference maker, but Tara Vinen has been lighting it up. We look at Tara Vinen and his anytime goals coming in at plus 230. He's been able to get those goals, get those assists. He's on the top line in the top power play with Connor Bedard. So Tara Vinen, anytime you can take his points to the over, is a strong way to go. His anytime goal is at plus 230. 3+ shots on goal tonight for Tara Vinen coming in at plus 138. he's winning us money. So he will be circled again for me. Last but not least, you guys, we're almost through all of these games. Let's look at the Philadelphia Flyers taking on the Edmonton Oilers. The Flyers coming in here at plus 162. Able to get the win over the Vancouver Canucks, but then rolled into Calgary and hit a wall versus Calgary. And then now they're going to face the Edmonton Oilers that are a complete, utter mess out there. The Edmonton Oilers are almost a $2 favorite, and they're playing disgusting hockey out there. It's so nice to be able to say, as a Calgary Flames fan, that the Oilers are playing disgusting hockey. They keep losing these games, and everyone and their dog keeps saying the Oilers have to bounce back. Is it tonight? It definitely could be, because we know how hard this West Coast trip is from Vancouver to Calgary to Edmonton on these teams. We saw the Flyers win in Vancouver, lose in Calgary. Could they come into Edmonton, get the win? Yes. Could they come into Edmonton and get the loss? Absolutely. Because, yeah, Edmonton has to wake up one of these days, but I'm not banking on Edmonton to wake up, especially as a $2 favorite, minus 1.5 on the puck line. I don't want to touch. You're getting plus money at plus 125. I don't trust this team. I don't trust Skinner. I don't trust the defense. The defense in front of him isn't giving the support. And this team hasn't woken up offensively. They're lazy out there on the ice. They're not getting my money tonight. The books won't get my money for me betting on Edmonton. And if I miss a win, if I miss them covering that puck line and getting that plus 125, I don't care, because I, at the end of the day, won't put my money behind Edmonton till they finally start winning out there. Now, that total sitting at 6.5, minus 105 to the over, minus 115 to the under. Skinner has been pulled in both of his starts, you guys. He has like a 5.44 goals against average, an 806 save percentage. It's not pretty out there. Like I said, the defense has been just atrocious in front of him. This team isn't looking good. They're 0-3 on the season. They can't lose 4 in a row is what everyone's saying. Yeah, they can't. With how they're playing, if they come out and play like that tonight, they're going to lose. Urgent expected. The problem with the Philadelphia Flyers is they're not shooting the puck enough on net for me. This is their third road game as well. They gave up 32 shots to the Calgary Flames in that last 6-3 loss. So the defense is allowing those shots to come in as well. That's dangerous versus the offense that we know Edmonton can be. But who do I trust more here? Well, the Flyers were able to put up 3 goals on Calgary, which I do think, with Dan Vladar in that, had a better goaltending matchup than Stuart Skinner. Skinner's looked awful. The defense of Edmonton's looked awful. The thing I think is the best bet in this game is to look here at the Flyers, look at their team total, expect them to get 3 goals. Over 2.5 goals for the Philadelphia Flyers, coming in at plus 126. Like I said, Skinner and this defense has been atrocious. So that is my best bet of this game. I do think we're going to see those goals come in that first period. Over 1.5 goals in the first period, coming in at minus 130. Yes, it's juicy, but you could also look at both teams to score in the first period at plus 164. If Edmonton's going to do anything to get this win, they're going to have to find the back of Urshan's net. So I think this one, at the end of the day, probably is a higher scoring affair. I'll take the first period to that over and both teams to score in the first period. But my faith here is more in the Flyers offensively, so I'll take them over the 2.5 goals. Now, who's going to get those goals? Well, Owen Tippett coming in for the anytime goal is plus 130. Mishkov has been moved to the right wing. This is an interesting move. He preferred to go to that right wing. So Mishkov, the rookie, he's been moved down to the second line to play that right wing position. His preferred place. And I do think moving him into this situation is a nice look for that anytime goal tonight. He's coming in at plus 270. Now, Bouchard on the other side, we're waiting for Bouchard to wake up. We're waiting for Connor McDavid to wake up. I'm not taking any props on that side of the puck. I'll take Mishkov. I'll take Owen Tippett and call it a day here for the Philadelphia Flyers. But let's quickly look. I wanted to look at the Vegas Golden Knights. I wanted to see if those goalie props were out in this game. We're still not getting goalie props in this one. But again, the Washington Capitals, if you can look at Logan Thompson for his save shots on goal tonight versus his former team in his debut in Washington, I would hit on it. Now, One thing that's it's a scary bet. It's a terrifying bet. But for the shutout win here for Logan Thompson, are they giving it to us? No, they're only giving us the overtime bet. I could see it, you guys. You got to look at these storylines sometimes in hockey. You've got to look at the angle for these goaltenders and where you think they could be able to get a shutout. He only had one shutout last season. It is asking a heck of a lot. But Washington, I'm expecting that defense to try to shut down the Vegas Golden Knights. We know fast, high octane offense led by Jack Eichel, Mark Stone. This team is going to be firing at Logan Thompson. If Logan Thompson can save over 28, 29, 30 shots on net, he has the possibility of getting the shutout. So when that market comes out, I will be sprinkling on it as long as we're getting, plus 3 something for the shutout win for Logan Thompson. I think there is value there. Could Vegas come out and score in that first period and kill that? Yes, but I think the risk is worth the reward. So you guys, all the best in all of your bets. I hope we all make some freaking money. Seeing all your comments out there, appreciate you guys so very much for being here today and joining me for Pocket with Jo over on SportsGrid TV. Again, if you are looking for my best bets, always check out the SportsGrid app for my Madden quickies out there. You can download it. All the links are above and below. I appreciate you guys. Let's make some freaking money. Have a great day. Drop what you're liking below. Let us know what you're parlaying. Everyone, let's cash together. Thanks, you guys.